would all know who you are, bro.
The city of Chicago talks. It ain't even that it talk. It just moved different. The city, man, he would have came up missing so fast. He wouldn't even become a legend on the streets fast enough because the niggas would have took him out.
Well, I don't know.
Chicago's just different, bro.
This city is different, man. This place is more different from any place I ever been or seen, bro. I swear to God, it is.
I don't think that people really realize that, man. I think like a lot of times people they look at it as like just the city by the lake. They don't realize, man, Chicago is just, man, it's wired different.
I mean, they be like, oh, that's the Midwest. That's the biggest city in the Midwest, man. This motherfucker is crazy. And it chews up. I ain't speaking for nobody else's community, but it chews up our community like a motherfucker, man.
I think like because our city has been faction based, it's like it took gang culture and turned it into something completely different because of what the elements were that everything was based on, and then it removed all the leadership. You know what I'm saying? It's like you hear these stories about like LA and New Orleans and stuff like that, and you know that shit's bad, it's corrupt. But something about Chicago that level of corruption is like, dude, it's like, yeah.
The roof is built on that shit though. Just like every other place is, but like here, like the hold on it, if you don't know it, man, if you don't realize by the time you've been here a couple of years that it's some really funky shit going on here.
Nigga, you can't live in Chicago and not be related to somebody who plugged.
That is a fact.
You can't live in the city of Chicago and not know directly somebody who keep it on them. It's impossible. It's fucking impossible. You can't live in the city of Chicago and say you've never seen a gun.
Yeah. And
I ain't talking about like my father's a weapon owner. I'm talking about illegal weapons. I'm talking extendos and drums.
Everywhere.
You know? Everywhere. And then what's even more crazy, the person who owned it is a kid. He in his early 20s or whatever the fuck. He
younger.
He's a teenager. You dig what I'm saying? Chicago different, bro. And it ain't, and I'm not saying that this don't exist nowhere else, because I'm pretty sure in Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's the same shit. But on the scale that Chicago represent, Chicago is the blueprint. It's the blueprint. Like when you talk about like hustler player mentality, New York got us beat. New York got us beat when it comes to the hustler player shit, because all we got is, and reference to that is like the West Side. When it comes to killers, when it comes to them niggas who will mow you down and continue on conducting business as usual, Chicago is that one.
Cali is vicious too, bro.
Yeah, but Cali is it's like another part of that extreme. But Chicago is like I don't know, it's something about Chicago and the way it's a cloud, it's a dark fucking cloud over Chicago, bro.
It's the foundation of that shit, man.
Like it's like,
and it's not even that's not uplifting it or saying anything good about it. It's just like acknowledging the behavior that happens here.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a dark cloud over that motherfucker, bro. I come to town all the time and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like you can feel it. The energy is fucking like,
yeah, you can feel it. Like you pick up on it when you enter certain areas. And what's even more fucked up is like when you can smell the gunpowder, or you can feel a certain type of vibration when you enter certain areas, man. Like this.
I was in a Family Dollar in line, and I was like, let me get the fuck out of here. And there wasn't nobody there but 8 motherfuckers. And I'm like, because I already know. I knew where I was at, how shit move, how it goes down.
It's too quiet in here. Let me get up out of here, man.
Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But hell, you could be like that in Walmart in Chicago, depending on what side of town you on.
I was in fucking Mariano's a couple of nights ago before I went home. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't nothing going on in there. Out of nowhere, these women just started twerking. I was like, what the fuck? Wasn't no music playing, nothing. They just started twerking. I was like, yeah, wait, did they just break out twerk? I just moved out the way, like, let me get out the way. They must be filming or some shit. They must be filming the video.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that city different, bro. But it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
Yeah, it is. The best skyline ever.
The most diverse cuisine. I mean, like
You
all
can definitely get you some great food here.
the experiences, all of that shit. It's just what it is. It's like when if you grow up in certain pockets of the city or certain pockets of the communities, you don't get to enjoy it because everything is about survival and hustle. You know what I'm saying? But if you actually get to break away from that stuff and just live your life a little bit more loose, which is not really common in that city because it can go down anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You get to see some shit. You get to experience some things. But again, even if you exist, if you've lived there long enough, even if you exist on a high enough level where you don't have to interact with it, you still not too far removed from a motherfucker who got it on them.
Either that or you know somebody that's with all the shits.
Yep. That's why it's very rare people choose Chicago as a place they want to get traded to when they're in the NFL or the NBA.
I just think that's part of the curse playing here.
I'm not even gonna call it a curse, bro. I think it's.
I'm just saying, like, if they didn't take care of Michael Jordan, why would they take care of anybody else?
Bro, I'm saying this. The most athletes are in the age demographic of the motherfuckers that's in these streets anyway. You do what I'm saying? So that means that they function and have fun, and they find fun in the same places that a lot of the young people who are out there in these streets go find. They're the same strip clubs, the same bars, the same, you know what I'm saying? Now, they might not even be part of those circles, but because they got the money and the resources to be in those places, they're going to attract that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like
but there are places where they can go in this. There are places they can go in the city and not have to deal with that.
Yeah, but you think about who we talking about though. We talking about young black people from the hood who just so happen to be in those spaces. You know what I'm saying? They NBA players, they NFL players, they out here getting to the bag, but they not so far removed from in their own personal lives from those elements in a lot of cases. Most of them just want to move their mama out the projects. Most of them just want to build a house for their mama or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And they got access to new pussy. They in Chicago. They meeting these chicks. They not flying in bitches and making families with them. They hooking up with the locals. This so happened. This chick just so happened to be Plug, or her brother Plug, or she just being used as a fucking mule to move some shit, and they need you to help. And they gonna make you get involved.
Or you could get robbed by one of these bitches setting you up.
Yep. That's what, like they say, a lot of people who talk about the NBA All-Star Weekend that happened in Chicago, they talk about that like it was the greatest event on earth. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's because people know exactly who they're dealing with. Chicago, being the city that it is, the type of city it is, they're gonna make sure that they take care of their own. And the streets was policed by the people, not by the police. That's why people enjoyed it. The streets was policing that shit.